got a new chair! Whee! Alright guys, Darren Stevenson back with another video, and today I want to talk about Top Cut breakdown, so a meta-analysis for the YCS 200s that went on this weekend. I want to talk about all three YCSs. I'm going to start off with YCS Utrecht. First of all, I just want to give my congratulations to Nico who won YCS Utrecht. Fully deserved, well done. So I want to start off with Utrecht breakdown, like I say. Top 64 for the European YCS was dominated by pure Sky Striker, representation and Top Cut as well, which is no real surprise really. It was the most untouched on the ban list. The ban list was kind of it. It only hit drones to 1, so the deck can still operate the exact same way, it just lost 2 star cards. Whereas everything else around it got significantly hit. So it's no surprise that that's the deck that everybody flocked to, whether it's the best deck or not. And seeing as I said it was the most represented deck, it's no surprise that considering the deck is actually good, and it was the most represented deck, that it'll be the most represented deck in Top Cut as well. And the second most represented deck at Utrecht was Goki. I'm not particularly surprised about that, but I think a few people might be surprised, as I think a lot of people weren't prepared for Goki, as they just wrote Goki off thinking that they couldn't really combo off without Goblin or Voker, because the deck's got less starter cards, and granted it is significantly weaker. But I think Goki took advantage of this event, as, like I say, people weren't prepared for it, so it could still combo off. It could do the exact same thing, honestly. It hasn't lost any power at all. It's just lost more starter cards, so it can do the exact same thing. It can still gumble off of 4 and whatnot, so I'm not really surprised to see it as the second most represented deck. As I myself played at the event, I thought it was the best deck for the event, just to take advantage of people who just wrote it off and weren't maining as many hand traps, or even not even siding as many hand traps as well, so you can just combo off for free. And then another deck I want to talk about is Altergeist, the alternative to Pure. It's no surprise that this deck's still around, as in the OCG it was the deck that people favoured to counter Pure with the likes of Secret Village and stuff in Imperial Order. So I think that's gonna probably, I think I expected a bit more in the Top Cut, honestly, but I don't think Altergeist is that great of a deck in comparison to Pure. I think Pure would beat it every time, honestly. As Pure has more starter cards, it breaks less, it's more powerful. If everything goes right for Altergeist, however, then Pure can like struggle a wee bit. I think the only thing that is a bit weird that it's only like 8% has like 5 decks in Top Cut. I really expected a bit more. And I want to talk about the Draco representation specifically for Europe, as it was the second most represented deck. I find it a little bit embarrassing that only 5 top. You would think that a deck with such significant representation, not far off Sky Striker, would do much better. I just really think Dracos as a deck is just terrible. Especially since its conversion rate was so bad. I really hope people realise that the deck is just garbage. Which brings me to the deck that got to the finals of the YCS, and also the winner of YCS Mexico City, Burning Abyss. It just won't go away, will it? It just won't die. Like, there's an obvious reason why Burning Abyss just won't fuck off. It's because it's perfect. It's a really consistent deck. It's a combo deck that can also control its matchup with the likes of Beatrice and Fairy Tail Snow. But then if it wants to kill the game off, it can just apply pressure and then just kill your opponent. It can deal 8 damage fairly easily with the way that it's built. It's adaptable because every card in the deck is a BA, which is a starter card and an extender, and you can play pretty much anything in the deck to counter the meta. It's so flexible. Cards like Sekka's Light as well, which make it much better and more consistent and more powerful. And the fact that not only does Sekka's Light draw you 2 cards, it also replaces a card in your hand as well, which seems crazy to me. It's no surprise that it's doing so well. Honestly, I really wish we got Cherubini sooner, because I really want to play the deck at its best. But I feel like the more Burning Abyss keeps doing well, we're never going to get it, unless there's like Dante to 1 or something like that. But going on to the YCS breakdown for Mexico, it's very similar to ours, honestly, which is no surprise considering it was the exact same format. They have a little bit less Gorky's topped and a bit more Trickstar, so I think people opted to go for Trickstar to counter Sky Striker, which I personally think is wrong, as I think Trickstar doesn't shit on Sky Striker like it used to, because now Sky Striker has Hayate, so they can apply just as much pressure as Trickstar now. So honestly, I think Trickstar as a deck is just really terrible. I'm surprised people still play it. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail about Mexico since it's exactly the same as Utrecht more or less. So I'll go into YCS Columbus, which is a slightly different format to ours since they have Summon Sorceress, which gives Gorky an extra push. As you can see in this pie chart, Sky Striker was less represented in Top Cut. Pretty much everything's exactly the same. The Sky Strikers lost a few numbers, whereas Gorky's gained more. Which makes sense considering Gorky is better there, as they haven't lost as many starter cards as Europe and South America has, since they can still play Armageddon Knight and still do full combo with just 1 card, which is absolutely crazy. The deck is still vulnerable to like 1 hand trap, such as like Ghost Ogre and Ash Blossom, which makes the deck a bit fragile and feel like it is a bit glass cannon. But it is significantly better in North America just because of Summon Sorceress, as it gives it more options. So it's understandable to see why Sky Striker's dropped off. Also, Sky Striker probably can't play cards for the mirror match in fear of Gorky. So I think Sky Striker will have to be built a bit differently there, where he either has to decide that it wants an edge in the mirror game one there, whereas in Europe, a lot of Sky Striker builds just exclusively played cards for the mirror match and just ignored everything else. I feel like North America would have to do something a bit different and would have to main matchups that are generally good against everything and then side for more specific matchups. The pie charts are to be expected. I'm not particularly surprised by anything. I think we're currently in like a one deck format, honestly, but not to the extreme of a tier 0 format like Necros, Dragon Ruler or Zodiac, where you just had to play those decks and nothing else was better. We're in a format where the best deck is, I think, undeniably the best deck, but it's not to the point where it's so good you have to play it. Whereas you can play Gorky, as that's just nearly as good, but considering it's fragile to like a hand trap, maybe that puts Pure a bit better than it. But you still have the option to play Gorky, and you can also play something like Altergeist, so you can still play a sort of similar way, like a 1-for-1, like old school Yu-Gi-Oh sort of way, but you don't have to play like pure mirror matches. You can gain an edge with Altergeist by playing Secret Village and stuff. And then decks like Gorky, you can play a combo deck if you don't really fancy playing something like that and you prefer combo deck. And that's it. That's my meta analysis. I personally really like this format. I know I've been saying that Pure is the best deck and I played Gorky, but due to the time constraints I had, I just wanted to play a deck I was more comfortable with. I prefer combo decks, and Gorky's a deck I've been playing for weeks, and I just wasn't prepared to enter with a deck like Pure, which I feel is quite slow, and mirror matches that I'm unprepared for. I didn't think I had much of an edge for that event unless I played Gorky, and just took advantage of the fact that people played less hand traps, so that justifies my choice. But what do you think? Are you happy with the deck that you played for the YCS? What do you think should have won the YCS? And if you didn't go to the YCS, what would you have played? Thanks a lot, guys. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.